If you had asked me to describe this school year in one word, I would say the word would be growth. For the first time ever, Lincoln began the school year with an excellent rating from the state of Ohio. We've worked hard to reach that milestone over the past few years, and it was finally achieved through the growth factor for our 4th and 5th grade students and within the subgroup of students with disabilities. This was especially gratifying because our intervention specialists all worked hand in hand, co-teaching with our regular classroom teachers to help these children make such progress. We knew, however, that there was still much work to be done, and our goals this year were based on that understanding. The main goals which support our district OIP plan were to ensure that 80% of our students made a minimum of 1 year's growth in math and reading. No matter where our children came to us, our mission was to keep them growing and hopefully close any gaps that existed. Not an easy task, but one that we felt was reachable with everyone's hard work and cooperation. In order to reach it, we made numerous changes in both how we teach our children and how we assess them. In order to move every child at his or her own pace, it's critical to find baselines and monitor progress in many different realms. For example, reading is a combination of phonics skills, fluency, vocabulary, comprehension, and even writing. It's important for teachers to be able to diagnose the specific strengths and weaknesses before they can intervene and help children improve. Gone are the days when teachers teach every child in the classroom with the same activities, books, and materials. And although large group lessons are appropriate to introduce skills and motivate learning, real progress is made in small groups and in one-to-one instruction which targets children's skill levels and reading abilities. Monitoring ongoing progress also needs to be done individually if teachers are going to use the information to guide their instruction. Reading instruction at Lincoln now looks very different than it did 15, 10, or even 5 years ago. When you walk into a classroom, you will see children working in small groups with tutors, intervention specialists, and volunteers all working on different activities. Children may be working on leveled reading passages on the computer, and others will be reading to each other, writing scripts, or working on shared assignments. A leveled library of over 1,200 titles is available to each teacher to be able to instruct his or her students at their specific reading level, K through 6. Our teachers have also grown in their ability to intervene earlier for those students who are struggling to make adequate progress throughout the year. With the implementation of RTI, or Response to Intervention, teachers at Lincoln have now improved their ability to identify children earlier and work with their grade level teams to provide targeted remedial help. This process has grown over the last 3 years and has become an embedded practice at our school. The growth has come with the support of an excellent school psychologist and a great team of intervention specialists. Their willingness to be teacher leaders and the additional time that was provided for them to do so has been invaluable to us. Also, carving out a 35 to 40-minute period each day for enrichment or intervention at each grade level has also been extremely valuable. Our biggest challenge has come in the area of math, and many of the strategies for which we've had success in reading are now being transferred to the teaching of math. Leveled math groups are now the rule rather than the exception in most math classes. And although we don't have a leveled math model, we do have supplementary programs such as First in Math, Multiplication.com, and other online programs to help differentiate instruction to meet students' needs. The Everyday Math program we adopted in 2005 provides the teachers with ongoing and detailed assessments of student progress as they move through the standards. This has also helped us to more successfully target the needs of the students. I am pleased to report that in grades K through 4, upward of 90% of students demonstrated at least 1 year's growth in reading and math, and in grade 5, the number surpassed 85%. In order to reach these goals, it's important for teachers to keep improving their use of solid research-based instructional strategies, and that was another building-wide goal for Lincoln this year. Much of our professional development time was spent reviewing the 9 basic strategies of instructional guru Robert Marzano. Staff meeting times were devoted to reviewing these strategies and sharing practical ways to implement them successfully. Some of these, such as the use of cooperative learning and assigning effective homework and practice, were old friends to us, and we spent much time over the years studying them and sharing ideas. Others were not as embedded, and we took time to practice and improve them. The strategy which had the most impact was setting specific targeted goals for each lesson and making sure students knew what they were, and whether they were meeting them. What a simple idea with such a dynamic impact. As I walked around classrooms asking children what their learning goals were, it was evident that those who could articulate them owned their learning and were very excited to share their knowledge. We will continue to set that expectation and build on it for all who teach and learn at Lincoln in the coming years. Our last goal was the implementation of Pbis, the model for positive behavior intervention supports. I'm extremely proud of our character education program at Lincoln, and Pbis helped to make it even stronger and more universal. For 10 years, Lincoln has had a student code of conduct which the children helped to create and they revise over the years. Each year, a new theme is chosen to help teach and reinforce its core values of honesty, caring, respect, responsibility, and service to others. From this, a school-wide behavior plan was created and expectations were set for positive school culture that teachers and students shared. Because of this, behavioral problems have been minimal at Lincoln and did not have a significant negative impact on learning. But Pbis added another layer to our cake. It gave us the online tool to collect specific data and, most importantly, provided more recognition for students doing the right thing, as well as adding more positive incentives for those needing to change their behavior. This program was a reminder to accentuate the positive to eradicate the negative. And although our prior plan had been building wide, we learned that implementation in each classroom wasn't always consistent, and this change has improved our building-wide school climate and given everyone the same tools to be effective. So what do I see for the future for Lincoln? With all the growth that we have made over the years, we still have more to do. In order to continue academic improvement, we need to work in 3 main areas. First, to train all our teachers and grade level teams to work together as PLCs, professional learning communities. In layman's terms, they need to become more proficient at using their limited teaming time for the purpose of improving instruction and targeting student needs. Collaborative planning is the key to improved instruction. Second, in order for the PLCs to be effective, they need to have good common assessments available to them, which provide valid data. As a district, we have to provide these tools and the training for teachers so that we are implementing them consistently between classrooms, grade levels, and subject areas. There are many kinds of assessments and they all have different purposes, but if we are going to be held accountable to meet student growth targets, then we need to have assessments that measure growth consistently within grade levels, within schools, and throughout the district. We have to prioritize what is important and what will have the biggest impact with the best results. But we also have to be realistic in our expectations of teachers and know that as we expect more, and we do, we need to find ways to support their changing needs. Whether that be effective ongoing professional development, technology that is up to date and more reliable, or time to meet collaboratively to plan for student achievement, we must make all of these our goals for the future. The third area of attention for us will be that of having students begin to take more ownership of their learning and of their behavior. As teachers and administrators and even parents, we've committed to work harder to provide for student needs, but we have to be careful not to leave the student out of that equation. We have to make learning important to them and to have them be accountable for their learning. We will do this by helping them understand where they are on the learning continuum, by working with them to set realistic goals for where they need to be, and by giving them tools to monitor their own progress. They will be given the opportunity to facilitate their parent conferences, to take on more leadership responsibilities, and hopefully to build self-esteem based on those real accomplishments. Kids love a challenge and good competition. You only need to go to the closest Little League game, swim meet, or just to the playground to see that. Our goal this year is to provide more opportunities for students to build their own success. Each year at Lincoln, we've had a school-wide theme. This year, our theme was Lead the Way, and we will continue to build on that in the coming year. Our hope is to truly show our children, our parents, and our teachers how they can all work together to lead the way for a better future for our kids.